Hello everyone and welcome to the Chrissy B Show. Now there are plenty of things in life that have the potential to make us happier, from our home and pets to our goals and success in our career. And today we'll be speaking to dog behaviourist Stephen Havers about becoming confident with your dog, how to keep your doggy happy and well trained, and how having a pet is also very good for your mental health. I'll also be giving you my Chrissy B's happy tips, and today I'll be sharing with you my 10 tips to making the most of your time. We also have Benoit, a successful artist, and he'll be here to share his own success and happiness and give some advice to others with similar dreams. And we'll get to hear Elijah's performance of his track, I Have a Dream. We'll also take a look at some inspiring stories of creative success to remind ourselves that no matter what happens, we always have ourselves, our dreams and our goals. And of course, we also have our fitness tip with Jen, and she'll be speaking about the psychological benefits of exercise. And before the news with Ian and Helen, I'd just like to wish Ryan Bowl good luck for Sunday when he'll be competing in the finals of the Open Mic UK area finals. And he's actually, hello by the way.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you.
He's actually raising funds for pancreatic cancer, so he's doing it for a very good cause.
He was such a nice guy as well.
He's a lovely guy, and he's
great.
doing so well. So just wanted to give him a shout out, Ryan.
Very good.
We're rooting for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Okie dokie, so we have some news.
Yeah, we do have. Starting on a royal footing. It's lovely to see all the royals. The Queen leading Remembrance Day, which is fantastic at the Cenotaph. Prince Harry as well, been in Afghanistan, which is great, seeing all his fellow troops. He's actually really missing flying, which is one of those things. I've got a feeling he'll try and get back there somehow.
Really?
But one of the main things, I mean, I don't know, the Paul Cummins installation at the Tower of London, he was the one that thought up that great, amazing, you know, poppy installation. And just for anyone that's not been, you have to go and see it. It is absolutely
I saw it
amazing.
when they were starting it.
It's an amazing thing.
Really amazing.
Yeah.
And it's really heartwarming, you know, it's like feel good. It's just
but it's apparently packed there. Like,
it is.
We
We
were
were filming there 9 o'clock Monday morning. We got there and it was packed out then.
Really?
Yeah.
9 o'clock in the morning.
It's such a touristy area as well, isn't it? So you've got everyone
it's
going.
become even more poignant now because a lot of the visitors now had grandparents or great grandparents in those World Wars, and they've actually attached photographs to the railings and messages, and there is like a ration book from the period and different things, and it absolutely it's very, very emotional to actually sort of watch and see, you know, and it's
such an
it's
amazing
quite
idea because it's obviously 100 years, and
Yeah.
it's roughly nearly 900,000 poppies eat for every life lost. So it looks fantastic, and if we can come up with those ideas, I mean, Paul Cummins, amazing.
Yeah, that was very good.
He also, which is really sad because he's a ceramic creator, but he lost one of his fingers when he was rolling out loads of poppies, which is such a shame. One of his middle fingers.
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, which is one of those sad things. But I mean, you know, everyone knows who he is now.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
exactly.
He's going to go places.
He definitely
so
will.
lovely.
He's
But
very
also, it's
successful.
you can see it at night because everyone thinks I mean, it's lovely to see during the day, but you've got all the lighting and everything.
Is it as
it
packed
looks
during the
beautiful.
night?
No, you don't
It
have
is,
anyone.
because there's nighttime vigils as well. I mean, what's happening now is
Not nearly as many though.
well,
people.
they're taking away part of the installation
Yeah.
now. Part of the installation, which is the front part, which is this like sort of stream effect, that's going to be going on tour now around Britain. So Britain will now see for themselves as well, and then it's going to be finally put at the Imperial War Museum, isn't it?
Which is
they're
fantastic.
gonna
Just the
install it
flow
there.
gets out the window.
Yeah.
But because the volunteers are taking all the poppies away now, it's going to gradually deplete, so everyone has to go and see it.
Yeah.
Well worth seeing.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, I did see a part of it when they were first.
Yeah, I've taken some pictures. Hopefully they come out nicely, which is great.
Get there early as well.
Yeah.
Moving on, it's Christmassy and everyone's feeling festive. Well, I don't know if everyone's feeling festive. I'm the most unfestive person, and today I felt festive.
She's only been talking about Christmas presents for about 2 months already.
I don't know why, but I really do feel festive. But thinking
We should
of
get
it's
some
been
decorations for the studio.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
should do.
I wasn't feeling
Some
very
twinkly
festive until my mum
things.
dragged me around the shops yesterday, Christmas shopping, because she's visiting from Cyprus and she wanted to do all her shopping.
Did you
and stuff.
see the
used to make
lights?
paper chains?
Yeah, I did actually.
Oh,
yeah.
everyone made paper chains.
I
Those
remember
basic
school
things are
days,
lovely.
paper chains, my God.
I forgot about those.
Yeah.
I think people have bigger and better
Should we make
now.
paper chains for the
We should
studio?
make paper chains for the studio.
Yes, why not?
Okay, I'll leave that
That's great.
responsibility to you
Yeah,
too.
thank you very much. I don't know whether you can buy them anymore. Can you buy paper chains?
Make
You
your
can
own, they're so
them.
easy.
You can even use toilet roll holder. No, toilet roll. What do you call the middle of toilet rolls? Well, anyway, let's forget about that one. Move on. We're going back to the Ark Ages.
Talking about feeling festive. Sorry.
Yeah, they're feeling festive.
Yes.
Talking about Burberry. Burberry's Christmas campaign. And in fact, everyone's got all their Christmas campaigns out at the moment. I won't mention them, but everyone's seen them. But a certain young boy is the main character actually in the commercial, and it's caused a lot of controversy because it's Romeo Beckham. It's obviously Posh and Beck's son, and he's been paid. Have you seen it at all?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's quite nice. It's lovely, but he's a good.
Maybe I haven't. I didn't notice that it was.
He's a good-looking little boy, and it works really well. But he's been paid. It was a one day's work, and he got something like £45,000 for doing it. And obviously, the main models that work for Burberry don't get anywhere. That's the grown-ups don't get anywhere near that. So it's been a little bit. But it's, if you think about brand Beckham, it's huge, isn't it? So it's bound to.
You need to teach the boy that he needs to make his own way with things, and
Yeah,
if he's just handed things on a plate like that, he's not going to.
That's the way. Is it Simon?
Christmas is coming to Oxford Street as well.
I was asking you about the just
no, I know.
It's come to Oxford Street, hasn't it?
Well, it's just starting out because I was walking down Oxford Street yesterday because I was bemoaning the fact I walked down about 10 days ago and it looked quite drab.
There was nothing, was there?
There was nothing.
Are those lights the same as last year that they've got?
I hope not.
They didn't take them down, did they? You know those round...
Yeah.
The snowball effect. I haven't been into town, but
well, I was there last night and it looks exactly the same as last year. And I'm thinking, did they actually leave these and just not have them on all year to save money?
They could have done.
I think they did.
I think we need to write some letters
and
make
knows,
some phone
please email
calls.
me, Chris@chrissybshow.tv.
Absolutely. Yeah, just,
You've kind of realised the same thing, or if I'm just imagining things, but I'm sure it's the same. Actually, I've got pictures. Yes, I'm going to check my phone because I remember Instagramming pictures of last year.
Here we go.
Oh, God.
We could go viral on this.
From Brooklyn. No, Brooklyn is the other son, isn't it?
What's he
Just saying, he's got, we went from one extreme to another. So obviously Romeo earned all that money, and remember we were talking about him working in a coffee shop, the older son, for £2.65 an hour. But I worked out because he was under 15, in fact, a token amount is okay. So that's why it wasn't minimum wage, because I was thinking that's just so bad. But anyway, he's been signed up, I think, by Arsenal for a short-term period.
Has he?
Yeah, Gunners, is that right? I'm not such a football person. Is
Anyone
Gunners
know?
Arsenal?
Yes.
The Queen's favourite team.
You're like just helping us out.
Anyway,
so the Queen will be pleased.
She doesn't watch football.
She is an avid
she
fan
really?
of
She does.
Arsenal ever since she was a young princess. She has followed Arsenal
I probably
every
should
week.
have known that, shouldn't I? But
And William supports Aston Villa.
okay.
And you support?
Who do I support? Myself.
So it's a good way.
Actually, I was Arsenal, but only because it was red. From a very young age, I used to like, but that hasn't come into it, I know.
And it's very close to the studios here
Yes,
as well.
it is.
It is, just down the road.
I think we've got about 30 seconds left, guys.
Okay.
Elvis
Elvis has entered the building. Elvis is coming to London right now, and there's going to be an Elvis exhibition on the O2, and it's bringing something like about 60 or 80 memorabilia pieces of Elvis history.
It's actually Graceland. It's a virtual tour of Graceland, so it's going to be fantastic.
And where would that be?
At the O2.
Oh, the O2, you said.
Yeah,
okay.
so that's definitely worth seeing. That's been on for about 9 months, so it's a
really?
good one to see.
Wow.
Some
so
major
Hollywood's
iconic.
Graceland is coming to London.
Jumpsuits and you name
All
it.
sorts. Are you going?
All the things I used to
no,
wear.
don't
all
even say it.
All the things I used to wear. The gold llama, it brings it all back.
On that note, let's go to a break. Okay, thank you so much, guys. And we'll see you again in the next show. Okay, so do stay tuned because in the next part we'll speak to our first guest, Stephen Havers. Now, Stephen specialises in dog behaviour and focuses on teaching dog owners to constructively deal with their pets' behaviour.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to the show. Now, before I meet my first guest, let's take a look at this fitness tip with Jane Wrafter.
Hi everyone, I want to talk to you today about the psychological benefit of exercise. So it's pretty obvious that you're going to get physical gains if you do regular exercise, but don't underestimate the power that exercise can have over your feeling of happiness, your sense of well-being, your psychological well-being. Because when we put our body under stress, as it were, i.e. exercise, we get the old fight or flight response in the brain, which means that we release endorphins. It's the fight or flight response which we used to have when we were in danger, but the body still responds when it's put under pressure and exercises. It responds in the same way, and you release endorphins into your brain. It's a chemical that's released into your brain, and these chemicals, they lock into the same receptors in your brain that opiates lock into. So an endorphin is your own natural high. There are no negative side effects with our endorphins, and they make us feel really, really good. So if you've heard of the term runner's high, that's what that's relating to. So if you can find an exercise that you enjoy, you release the endorphins, you're going to feel physically fit, but also psychologically amazing as well. It ought to be prescribed for everybody in the nation, especially if you've got the blues. So get out there and enjoy your exercise and you'll feel the benefit, I promise you. Okay, see you next time.
Thank you very much, Jane. Now, to introduce Stephen and his dog behaviour business, check out this video.
I'm Stephen Havers. I'm a professional dog behaviourist, but I'm also an expert in the dog-human relationship. Now, that may sound a strange title when you think about it, but when you consider that when our dogs learn to behave, they learn to behave from us and how we react to their behaviour. So when you consider that our dog is misbehaving and we tell it off all the time, there's a prime example of how we react to the behaviour we don't want.
Okay, so we've got Stephen here with us. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Chrissy.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Now, I know when I first saw the outline for the script for this part, I immediately thought, okay, someone going to be teaching us how to train a dog, which we've had on the show before and it's been quite interesting. Yes. But actually, it's completely different, isn't it, what you do?
Completely different.
Tell us all about it.
I don't train dogs. I train people how to behave.
Oh.
Because the people's behaviour shapes that of the dog. And if you want to use food, toys, whatever else to motivate the dog, it still won't work if you don't get your behaviour right.
Okay, so it's like kind of blaming the humans. You know?
The blame needs to be looked at the other end of the lead.
Okay, right, okay, that's very interesting. Now, first of all, how did you actually come to realise that we had a lot to do with like not
a lot of the stuff that I've done in the past, I've been doing this for 20 years, this is year 9 full time, all started off in the way it always did do, with food and toys and obedience training. But that didn't give me a dog that was well behaved. There's a massive difference between a well trained dog and a well behaved dog. And
what is the difference?
Well, a trained dog, you can teach it to sit down, stay, give me a paw, roll over, play dead. That's a trained dog, it performs, it does tricks. A well-behaved dog is a dog that you can take anywhere and it'll be calm, relaxed and respond to what you want it to do.
Now, I was just reading something on your website and you had these questions which I found quite interesting, and you said, does your dog follow you around? Does your dog jump up onto your lap when you're watching TV? Does your dog excitedly greet visitors at the front door? Does your dog sit and stare at you? All sort of normal things that you would expect most dogs to do. But then you say, if your answers are yes, then your dog is having to be active to get your attention, which means your dog is not as relaxed as you would like him to be.
Exactly.
Very interesting.
We are conditioned as dog owners to believe that our dogs have to be active and doing things to be enjoying being with us. Whereas the reverse is actually the case. Our dogs are more content just relaxing and being with us. The list of things you've described there are all examples of a dog being disruptive to your life in order to get what it wants, which is attention. So if we were sitting there watching TV and it starts to bring you a toy or sits there barking at you, it's because your attention isn't on the dog, which tells me you've conditioned the dog to be active and excited for your attention. Give your attention to the dog being relaxed. You can sit there and watch War of the Worlds, Gone with the Wind, or the epics, and your dog won't move, provided you keep saying, that's nice, good dog, and using its name.
Now, how did you get into this in the first place, Stephen? Because it's quite,
as I said, I came
it's intriguing.
all through the usual dog training methods,
yeah.
but nothing ever sat right, nothing worked.
Knew there was kind of something.
There's something missing, and what really got me in thinking about this as an approach was actually clicker training, where you use clicker to mark the behaviour, treat to reward it. And I got to thinking, well, hang on, if you're using a click to mark the behaviour, and then a treat to reward it, but then you're still telling your dog off if it does something wrong. So the click, treat, reward isn't sufficient to outweigh your behaviour, is it? So it's the reaction to the behaviour. This is the little light bulb moment I had.
Right.
It's how you react to your dog's behaviour. Your dog will do what you give it the most attention for.
So give us your top tips then, like on how...
Top tips, very simple.
Top tips, yeah.
Stop winding your dog up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how would we do that? How do we normally
when you come home, you go, "Oh, hello, how are you?"
Really? Is that bad?
And the dog's going,
Is that bad?
well, it's teaching the dog to be excited for you.
Yeah, okay.
Do you go home, does your family behave like that when you come home?
No.
Would you be concerned?
Well, I'm quite pleased to see my husband when I go home. When I do go and give him a kiss.
But does he go charging around the room and bring you a toy?
Normally, no.
So why do we expect our dog to?
Yeah.
We put on these expectations for the dog that is completely unnatural for it. It wants to come up and say, "Oh, hi, how you doing?" And it wants to go, "Hello, how are you?" But
that's
that
fine,
is
but
perfectly happy doing that calmly. But oh no, we want the whole.
And the pee on the floor normally when they do that, don't they? Some of them.
The dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the human. So John's making me laugh over there as well. And what else?
Because again, that's an example of being overexcited. It can't contain itself. So it has to.
Okay, so I didn't realise it was going to be such a funny interview. All right.
Give most attention to the good behaviour.
Okay.
But be very careful of trigger words. If you've been playing with your dog and it's used to hearing "good boy, Fido," when you're doing all of that, if it's calm and you say "good boy, Fido," it'll go and get your toy because it's been conditioned to be excited for those words.
Right, okay.
So choose your words. So if it's lying down nice and calm, better, good enough, Fido. Use the name softly, calmly, so it learns to associate the use of its name with calm. Because the problem with people is the first word out of our mouth, our dog's misbehaving, is its name. Fido!
Right.
Get down! Stop it! So it goes, "Oh great, I'm getting the attention of this, I'll do more of it."
Wow.
So all I do is teach people how to deal with the behaviour they don't want. But the trickiest part of it is actually getting people to give their dog more attention when it's being good.
Aww.
We seem to be very bad at that. And
we kind of do that, I suppose, with children as well, don't you?
It's the same thing, isn't it?
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So you can take a family that are in absolute despair because their dog's destroying the house. It's being a complete embarrassment in its behaviour. And in a few short weeks, just teaching the people how to change their behaviour, you can take a dog that's an absolute demon into something that makes a
Any dog, would you say? Any breed?
Dog is trainable. I can't say the same about people.
Oh gosh, that's harsh. But
true.
It's true, isn't it?
It's true.
Because we're so used to like behaving in certain ways.
We're conditioned to it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's very difficult, as we all know, to break habits and to try and remember to do something differently.
Now, how do children take to this kind of human training? I would say I wouldn't even call it dog training. It was human training.
The principle is the same. If you are largely ignoring the bad, but then giving the good the attention, even the children, and I have 3 under 9, the children will gravitate the same way. They will always go towards the behaviours that you reward the most. And if you're rewarding it nicely and calmly, "Oh, that's really good, I'm really proud of you," the kids is, "Oh, yeah." So if the dog's nice and calm, and you're like, "Oh, that's good, well done." And you can do that while you're watching EastEnders. Other programmes are available.
That's
the
so
dog will
true,
just
isn't it?
relax and chill out.
I
Because
suppose
it's getting
some people
the
think that
attention.
once they're quiet, they don't want to sort of go over and like get him all worked up again, so they
because
don't
if
even
I
bother.
talk to him and touch him, he'll get all excited. So you end up tiptoeing around the room, don't you? Shh, don't wake the dog up.
Wow.
Whereas if you were just saying, "Oh, what," and using the dog's name, you know, well, I've got a border terrier in my class. It's called Keith. Fantastic. Well done, Keith. That's a dog's name, and it's fantastic. Well done, Keith.
Right. So Stephen, we've just got a minute to the break. Is there something that you'd like to sort of, maybe one final bit of advice that you'd like to give our viewers today?
Yes, calm down.
Calm down.
Your dog does not
So
need...
stop telling your dog to calm down.
Your dog does not need to be chasing balls. It doesn't need to be chasing sticks. It doesn't need to be bringing you things all the time to get attention. Your dog wants to be with you and be calm. So give it the option by giving the calm behaviour the attention it deserves.
All right, Stephen, that was fascinating. Thank you so
pleasure.
much. Thank you. Wow. I'm sure that's changed many people's perceptions of how they should behave with their dog. All right, so do stay tuned, because after the break, we'll take a look at Miss Shah and Kit Rice's creative success stories, and I'll be giving you my happy tips, and today will be 10 ways to make the most of your time.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back, everyone. So now it's time for my happy tips, and today's one is all about making the most of your time. Now, I know that getting behind with things and sort of being unorganized and, you know, feeling like you're not managing things well can really affect you and can even make some people quite depressed. So I'm going to give you my top tips that I've sort of put into practice over the years that really works for me. So number one, first one is to learn to say no. And I know that's a very hard concept for some people, because you do tend to like to please people and you don't want to let people down. But it's really, really important that you know your limits and not feel bad when you say no to people. If you say yes all the time, actually, what's going to happen? You're going to end up resenting the things that you're saying yes to, and then you're not going to do them properly anyway. And that person that maybe has asked you is going to feel that from you. But also, it's quite easy to say no to things that you don't enjoy, but there are times when you also need to say no to things that you do like. So, for example, you know you've got an assignment, you know you've got some deadlines to meet, and your friends ask you to go out. You need to know when is the right time to say yes and when the right time is to say no, because even if you go out, it's still going to be on your mind and you're not going to enjoy it anyway. Okay, so do learn to say no. Now, the second one is manage your social network time. Now, this is a huge thing because you can waste so much time on social networks. So what I try to do, even though I do have everything on my phone and I do check quite regularly, I do try to also put my phone away for a bit, you know, when I'm with, for example, my husband, or when I'm doing other things in meetings, and I make sure that I'm not tempted to go and check the Twitter or check other things. So try and keep on top of that as well. Now, also, I would say number 3, stay on high alert for things that steal away your time. Now, this could be anything from friends and family that talk a lot. Now, I have to say, you know, those people that just have no sense of how much they're talking. And you could have friends that you love a lot, but that really talk a lot. What I normally do, and I'm sorry to say this, if I'm really busy with something and I have a deadline, and a friend calls that I know is quite chatty, I just don't answer my phone, or I text and I say I can't talk right now. It's okay to do that. So you need to really sort of watch out for time wasters. So, for example, another thing is like if you have the TV on when you're doing your housework, this really can slow you down. When I do my housework, I don't have the TV on, I just get on with it, and I do it a lot quicker as well. And even things like, find things that actually save you time. So even, for example, cleaning products. There's certain cleaning products that I invest in. They're more expensive than the sort of average brands, but they do the job so quickly, it saves me time. So make sure you invest in things like this as well, because it does really help. Okay, so let's go to number 4. Something that I always do is move quickly and don't do nothing. And it's not an English mistake, I'll explain in a second. Whenever I'm out, whenever I'm running an errand, or even things sort of at work and in my house, I move very fast. I don't just sort of saunter along. I've learned to move really quickly. I walk very fast when I'm outside. Most of my friends can't keep up with me. And what does this do? It's got 2 benefits. The first one is that you get things done a lot quicker. And the second one is you're burning calories as well, so you can eat more. That's one of my benefits anyway. So that really does help. So it helps you not to waste time. So, for example, I'll give you some examples. The other thing was don't do nothing. Okay, so what do I mean by this? I don't just sit down and wait for things. So if the kettle's boiling, I'll give you an example at home. If the kettle's boiling, I don't just stand there and watch the kettle boiling like I see some people doing and just wait for it. I go and do something while the kettle's boiling. So there's so many little things that you can apply, or you're waiting for something on your computer and it's taking the time to load up. Do something else while that's loading. So many small little things that you can do that can make a big difference to your time. And number 5, make sure that you get enough sleep, and I would say at least 7 hours. Now you might think, oh, you know, I don't have time, I have to stay up late and do this assignment, or I have to stay up late and do other things. But the thing is, if you're tired, you're not going to be very productive, your movements are going to be slower, you're not going to be able to think straight. So make sure you do get your 7 hours of sleep at least. All right, so I'm going to reveal my 5 other top tips after this video.
Okay, so here with Kit Rice, singer-songwriter from South East London. So how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Yeah, as you said, I'm from South East London. I do R&B, soul. I really love Prince and Jamiroquai and CeeLo Green and people like that. I've really based my sound around the greats like Luther Vandross and Mary J. Blige, and I'm really excited to be here. You just got to bring yourself a body.
Okay, so that's kind of influenced your style of music. Can you tell us about the music you've got recently? I've watched one of your videos, BYOB. What does that stand for?
Bring your own body, not in a bag.
So it's kind of
like to a party.
Okay, cool. So it's quite a lively music video. It's like almost pretty comical, and
it's got all my favourite dancers in it. Like, I love all of the dancers in there. That I've all grown up with them, or I met them on tour somewhere, or they did a dance off at one of my gigs, and I was just like, come on, we're just going to do an amazing video. Bring what you've got, and that's basically what it's about. Bring your own body, bring your own dance style, bring your own vibe. And we just chucked them all in a room, put the song on, and went dance, and they did.
What would you say is the most important lesson that you've learned in your career so far that you would tell to any of the viewers out there that are watching that maybe see you and they want to be like you, have music videos like that and sing and write and dance, but they're maybe not sure whether they've got what it takes?
You've got to try, and even if you fail, just keep trying, keep trying. If you know it's fierce, then release it. And if you come back to it a year later and you're like, oh, it wasn't as fierce as I thought it was, then release another one and keep trying until you get there, and eventually something will happen for you. You gotta be YOB, you can't change me.
So here with singer-songwriter Miss Shah from South East London. So hello, Miss Shah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. So why, first of all, are you called Miss Shah? What's your real name?
My real name is Christina Shah, but there's too many Christinas, so I thought let me keep it short and sweet and be Miss Shah.
So you're the only Miss Shah out there. So how long have you been singing and songwriting for?
I've been singing since I was about 8 and playing piano, but taking music seriously and songwriting probably from the age of 16.
But everything feels right.
You performed at some really big venues like Hammersmith Apollo and O2. What was it like standing on such a big stage in front of so many people?
It was amazing. The energy, it was unbelievable. It was the best feeling ever so far for me. To have thousands of people even screaming, it's just like, I didn't even want to get off the stage. It was amazing.
And I'll take the blame for both of us. And I'll take the blame for this love.
Okay, so do you think that writing and performing, does it make you happy?
Oh yes, yes. I think it's just a great way of expressing of what you feel or what you think, and I think that's what I use. I'm quite quiet, I don't really speak what I feel, so I think that's a great escape form for me.
All of me, yes, I'm scared to.
What's your favourite part of performing, if you were to round it all up?
I like it when people listen and you can see that they feel the music, and they come up to you afterwards and say, oh, I really like that song, I can relate to it. I think that's my favourite part.
Okay. Well, good luck with your career.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks very much to Kit Rice and Miss Shah. So now to continue with my top 10 tips on how to save time. Number 6 is eat well with food that gives you energy, and of course exercise. Now you may say, I don't have time to exercise, but I've found that when I exercise and I fit it into my day, I'm actually stronger, I'm faster, and I do much more with my time. Number 7, make sure you use a diary or maybe just something on your phone. What I do, I write everything down that I have to do. I plan my day, and that does save me a lot of time. And I even got things written like in 3 weeks' time or 4 weeks' time. I've got everything there so I don't forget anything and waste time backtracking all that business. So do use a diary if you can. Number 8, make sure you finish one thing before you start something else. Now, this was a mistake that I used to make quite a lot, and I did waste a lot of time. But the thing is, you get really confused when you're starting lots of things and not finishing them, and your mind's a mess. So make sure that you stick to one thing, get it done before you move on to the next one, and that will also give you much more personal satisfaction too. Number 9, make sure you rest to recharge your batteries, and make sure you also spend time with your loved ones. Now, I know I said before that you shouldn't be doing nothing, but obviously you have to have some time to yourself, to rest, to just, you know, just to do something that you enjoy, because otherwise you're not going to feel very motivated to work if you don't have these times. And of course, spending time with your loved ones does motivate you to carry on as well, because you've got that time. You need that. You need those relationships in your life. And number 10, I normally start my day with a cup of tea, and I sit down at my kitchen table and I meditate and I think about my day and what I'm going to do. And that really kind of, you know, helps me to put things into perspective to make sure that the rest of my day goes really well. So I hope that's helped, guys. And, you know, if you have any of your own ideas that you'd like to email to me, you can do on chris@chrissybshow.tv. Now we're going to go to a quick break, but do stay tuned, because after the break, I'll be speaking to Elijah Benoit, who's a music artist, poet, and inspirational speaker. And Elijah will also be performing his uplifting track, I Have a Dream.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Chrissy B Show, always aiming to show you the happier side of life. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Welcome back, and now I'd like to introduce Elijah Benoit to the studio. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm very good, I'm very good.
So you're going to be performing for us today.
I am.
But first of all, tell us what you're into, what the music that you're into, your inspirations. Tell us all about yourself.
Yeah, so I started music about 10 years ago. Started the traditional way, if you want to call it that, in school. Around that time, so it was 10 years ago, so around that time, the grime era had come up. You had a lot of people like Wiley, Dizzy Rascal that had come around, and I was listening to radio, and at that point, I was like, I can do this better. All right,
better, really?
Yeah, I had that self-belief.
That's good, no, that's good though.
Right,
really
so I started there.
Yeah.
So around that time, I started doing a lot of grime, playground, beatboxes, making everyone go crazy, that kind of stuff. And then
as I always in your mind, like you're always thinking about it, or
as in
the music and stuff, and what you wanted to do?
I've kind of, my family, so I have a very musical orientated family.
Okay.
My cousin's part of the Wailers, Bob Marley's group.
Great.
And loads of people in my family do music. So
they were quite encouraging then, your family, with the music career?
Yeah, my dad's a DJ, so it's just around everywhere. So
you get some parents that say, no, I don't want you to go into that, I want you to be a lawyer or a doctor, all that stuff, but it's great that you had that background.
Yeah.
Okay, so now how's it going for you now? How's everything going?
It's going well. So I recently released an EP, my first EP, which I released that on August 27th. And that was awesome. I crowdfunded for that. And
tell us about that.
Crowdfunding?
Yeah,
sure. So it's a thing called Kickstarter. And essentially what you do is you do a video explaining why you want to crowdfund. Do you know what crowdfunding is?
Is it when you get funds from a crowd?
So essentially what crowdfunding is, so I better address that first.
So I'm imagining like a tin going around to everyone like asking for money.
So they use a website, right, Kickstarter, and what you're essentially doing is you're getting people to invest in your project, and you can do it for various things. It could be for this, it could be for anything, right? As long as it's creative and it's different. So I created this campaign to launch my first EP after 10 years of doing music. Are people quite
responsive then? Were they like really?
It takes a lot of work. So a lot of people after that I know have tried to do it and haven't been as successful because they haven't realized how much work goes into it. You know, you really have to think about how you're going to promote it. You know, what your messaging is.
You must have worked hard then.
It took
because it funded your
time.
album, didn't it?
Yeah, so the target was £2,000 and it reached £2,340
Oh wow!
in
Okay.
30 days.
Oh, brilliant.
So,
okay.
yeah.
Well, you can mentor other people to do it.
I have talked to other businesses about it as well.
Okay,
Yeah,
brilliant.
give them
So
some
tell us
advice.
about what do you foresee for the future for yourself?
For me now, it's using that springboard from what I've done now, the things I've learned. I learned a lot of things from just doing this.
Yeah.
And really getting out there, gigging a lot more, and just taking it to the next level each time.
Okay.
You know, there's so many different levels in terms of the industry, music, and it really depends on what your goals are. But
Has
for
it
me,
been
it's
hard?
just
Has it been hard?
so when I did the Kickstarter and released the EP,
Yeah.
I had just finished university, and
Blimey.
that's
great.
I had about 3-4 months to do
Yeah.
this project, to do the Kickstarter, to raise the money, then to write, record, to find the music, the beats, get producers and get the designers and get everything sorted within that 4-month period. Because I knew after that I'd start work.
Okay.
So now I'm
so you
balancing
really
the two.
Brilliant.
Which
Okay. And what
is-
advice would you give to youngsters that want to get into this industry, and what would you say to them?
Realize that it's a lot of work. It's not all glam. You know, you look on MTV or something and you think, oh yeah, I want to be just like them. But at the end of the day, you have to put in a lot of work, and a lot of people don't see the work that goes into it. No, it doesn't at all.
Okay.
So, but don't be disheartened by that as well. If it's something that you love and it's a dream that you have, go for it. You know.
And actually, you'll
Go
be
for it.
performing "I Have a Dream."
Yes,
Yeah?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Why is that so important to you?
That song, it was at a point where I was having an inconsistent moment with music. I wasn't really doing it much, and there was kind of a lot of things going on in terms of my life. And I just wanted to make a track that kind of represented, you know what, I have a dream. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to continue going. So that's kind of where that song came
Which is a message that we
about.
always like to tell our viewers, to keep going and not give up on your dreams.
That's what you have to do.
Definitely. All right, so we're going to hear you performing in just a moment, but thank you so much for coming along to the show.
That's okay. Thank
And
you
all the
for
best
inviting
for
me.
the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have reached the end of the show, but if you want more information about any of our guests today, you can visit the website chrissybshow.tv. And if you'd like to email me, if you have a success story that you'd like to share on the show, do email me on chris@chrissybshow.tv. And just to leave you with this before we go. Now, you may not always get the support you want from others when going for your dreams, and it does make things a lot easier, but if it doesn't happen, find a way to go it alone, because you can make it. Okay, so let's go to the largest performance now of I Have a Dream.
Hello all, can I speak from the heart? Lend me your ear, hear my audio art. From the start I was blessed, yes, fortunate smart. Top of the class and adopted the craft. Rocketed fast as the best. Caressed any words in my path. Hitch, but a different graph. Will Smith mission, 2-pack vision. Unify my eyes, the vision with such great precision. I'll make the world listen and spread peace and love, hippie living. Forget wishing for it to be different. Man in the mirror, key figure in my demolition of lies. Coalition of life where ambition survives through the hatred. Preconceptions accepted in the matrix. Chains of the mind, time to break them and start a new nation of hope. Noah's Ark drive to greatness. We all can make it. I have a dream, I'm Martin Luther King, leader of a new world comprised of better things. I have a dream, I'm Muhammad Ali. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I have a dream, I'm Rosa Parks. I'm not standing for less, I'ma follow my heart. I have a dream, I'm Mahatma Gandhi. God, truth and love can break down armies. Always felt this in my soul. Doubt and fear from peers belittled my goals. Crept in, slept in my humble abode. Dead skin, my old self became the unknown. I forgot to dream and believe in its reality. Simple mind's tragedy wrote me down gradually. Wise advice deprived me from the happy happy me. Realistic eyes defied what I saw happening. Started to pack it in, but you can't keep this Chris inside the packet, so I removed the packaging, revealed the light that concealed the flash in him. Unique delight, a fright to old-fashioned sense. Beneath the ribbons where I live in and the passion sits. Creative mind, God-given and talented. So I give thanks to the Most High for blessing me with this gift and giving me more than Santa did. I have a dream, I'm Martin Luther King, leader of a new world comprised of better things. I have a dream, I'm Muhammad Ali. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I have a dream, I'm Rosa Parks. I'm not standing for less, I'ma follow my heart. I have a dream, I'm Mahatma Gandhi. God, truth and love can break down armies. I have a dream and a scheme to beam in the scene like you've never seen in your lifetime. Now is always the right time, there's only one lifeline, and I don't know the length of my timeline. Architect what I detect in my mind's eye. No party trick, this reflects such a fine grind. Changing lives, one word, one verse, one song at a time. We're all destined to shine. If I told you that you could not fail, tell me what kind of ship you'd be willing to sell. Why would you quit before you've ever felt a life worth living and a story to tell? I refuse from this day forth to push aside what lights my heart's torch. I foresee success they never thought was possible. Imagination beyond the logical. I have a dream, I'm Martin Luther King, leader of a new world comprised of better things. I have a dream, I'm Muhammad Ali. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I have a dream, I'm Rosa Parks. I'm not standing for less, I'ma follow my heart. I have a dream, I'm Mahatma Gandhi. God, truth and love can break down armies. I have a dream, I'm Martin Luther King, leader of a new world comprised of better things. I have a dream, I'm Muhammad Ali. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I have a dream, I'm Rosa Parks. I'm not standing for less, I'ma follow my heart. I have a dream, I'm Mahatma Gandhi. God, truth and love can break down armies.